Welcome to Divine Couples. Your host, Naomi Slater, will awaken your passion, deepen your intimacy, and invite healing into your relationships, working towards accessing higher levels of consciousness in all areas of your life. Come with us on this journey to explore and experience your fullest potential.
You are listening to Society Bites Radio, social interaction for the mind and soul. Thanks for joining us. I'm your host, Naomi Slater, and you have tuned in to Divine Couples, adding intimacy, passion, and healing to your lives. Hailing from the beautiful state of Maine, Amanda is a multi-soultrepreneur whose online businesses allow her to be location independent and pursue her love of travel. Holding a Bachelor of Science degree in Environmental Studies from UVM, she's an avid nature lover and delights in being a conscious connector. As owner-operator of SAPHIRE Property Management, she's a successful real estate referral and leasing agent, consultant, and Airbnb superhost. In 2020, her passion for holistic wellness and quantum healing led her to becoming a distributor for Healy. She's an avid evolutionary astrologer and offers intuitive tarot card readings through her company, Ananda Tribe. She's also partnered with Five Rings Financial, helping women to transform their money story through education and create their fabulous financial futures. All in all, Amanda loves to play with possibilities and making life-changing connections. Hi, Amanda. Thank you so much for joining us.
Hi, Naomi. Thank you so much for having me. I'm very excited to be here.
Yay, my pleasure. So Amanda, you decided to turn to me for guidance on intimacy and to develop a self-love practice. What made you take the plunge?
That is a very good question. So one of my dear friends had worked with you earlier this spring, and we have a very special relationship, and we share on things like intimacy and different practices that we utilize in our lives. And she said that she worked with you one-on-one, and just the feedback that this woman was giving me from spending the time with you one-on-one had me very not only intrigued but excited to see where I could take my self-love practices. I had historically the past, maybe 2 or 3 years, been hearing about some people doing yoni release practices, and I've been interested in that and knew of a woman in my local area that did it, but she was also one of my clients, so I didn't want to mix that relationship that we had on a professional level with that part of my life. So it had sort of been in the back of my head for a little while, and I knew that I was searching for an intimacy coach. I had also taken a tantric workshop years ago when I was living in Sedona with Michael Murdad out of Unity Church. And he also offered one-on-one sessions, but I never took the plunge, mainly because he was a man. And when my girlfriend told me that she had found a tantric sexual intimacy coach and the breakthroughs that she was receiving, I was like, okay, it's time. And when she introduced me to you, remember, Naomi, when we had our Zoom call, I felt like I fell in love with you right away. I'm like, okay, this woman is totally badass. I just felt like this rapport between us.
Yeah, I felt it too.
Yeah, pretty immediately. And I was like, okay, I think I found her. Let's do this. And so, yeah, I took the plunge with you, and I don't have
Amanda,
any regrets about it.
You're so amazing. And the truth is that what really turns me on is when I feel that connection with the women that I work with, because, when there's a woman that I get on a call with and I don't really feel that connection, I know that it's not really in full alignment, not with myself and not with her. And that connection I felt very deeply with you. And I'm so happy that you made that decision to take the plunge. So I would love to hear about some of the major challenges that you were facing when you turned to me.
Well, I've had some prior, in years past, some sexual trauma, not from childhood, but in my teenage years. And even though I felt like I had addressed it on a verbal level, dealing with it through talk therapy, and I've had a couple of counselors to get me through some sticky spots with getting through those traumatic experiences. I also knew on another level that there were some energetics, like, how do I want to say, like stuck in my body.
Blockage. Mm-hmm.
Yes, thank you. Blockage that wouldn't be able to be released through talk therapy alone.
Yeah.
Knowing what I know about frequency and vibration and energetics and how the body can lock up and hold on to memories, especially traumatic memories. I think I just felt ready to take my self-healing to another level, to deepen it, to work through some of those blockages that I felt were not only affecting how I was approaching relationships, but also in my work, like feeling overworked and underpaid for some of my life, and how this piece of self-love and intimacy and that vulnerability piece can open up a whole other level of receiving from all areas of life. So I really wanted to up-level not only how I felt in my body and to get past certain sexual traumas, but also step more fully into abundance as well.
Amazing. That's so beautiful. And you mentioned, this kind of difference between talk therapy and doing this kind of deeper emotional work that I refer to as emotional alchemy. If you could maybe touch on that, and what do you think that the emotional alchemy part of our work did for you?
Oh, when you ask that question, what's coming up is you remember the day where you were teaching me how to release rage from my body.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think talking about anger or talking about rage would have been nearly as effective as me screaming into a pillow and beating up the pillow and strangling the pillow, and really allowing myself to go there and act out and to get out of my body on an energetic level. That was a very alchemizing experience for me, and also a tool that I've shared with some girlfriends, and a tool now in my toolbox that I can go to when I need to release anger, and it doesn't need to be lashed out in a relationship or towards another person. That I can, I've gained another tool in my toolbox.
Fantastic. Yeah.
In that way. So that was a piece of it. Alchemy, it's powerful. And just between the breathing exercises that we covered and the yoni egg practice and the sensuality practice, so we can talk more about that later too.
Yes. So what were some of the patterns you wanted to free yourself from in doing this work?
Okay. A big part of what came up in working with you, Naomi, were boundaries, which I really didn't think that we would be doing the boundary work, but that's also been a big theme of what I've been interested in working through. And some of the things that came up during these self-love practices, and as I was inquiring on what turns me on and what I like, and slowing down, being intimate with myself, I was surprised that boundaries kept coming up and how it was, like how I was relating to other people, in letting people, either take advantage of me or me not speaking up for myself in ways that felt authentic. And also the codependency piece too was another big pattern. I know a lot of people are dealing, is like a hot topic these past few years, is codependency and freeing yourself from those codependent patterns. And I honestly didn't think that I was, but doing this work, I'm like, whoa, just really illuminating different ways that I had a pattern of reaching outside of myself for love or acceptance or adoration or to make myself feel better, whether that be from another person or a substance or food or, fill in the blank, anything outside of myself. So yeah, the boundaries and the patterns. And that, again, I didn't realize I would be going there in my sessions with you, not only, on the Zoom, but throughout the week in between our sessions, how it really helped to illuminate how I was operating in all areas of life, not just with intimacy with myself.
Yeah, of course. So yeah, our intimacy is really connected to our entire being, not just, it's not this like compartment in our body that's only related to intimacy. It really affects every aspect of our life. So I'm not surprised. I'm so happy that that you dove deep and did the work, because there's no amount of information, knowledge, work that I can do with you and give to you if you're not willing to go there. And you really were willing to go there. So I commend you for that. And I would, of course, and I would love to ask you about, what did practicing with the yoni egg do for you?
Well, as you know, during our first session, you asked me if I had one. And I kind of giggled and I said, yeah, actually, I think I do. And I bought it like 4 or 5 years ago. And who the heck knows where it is? I had bought it, being curious about it, the jade egg. And I was never compelled to use it. And I was so excited that I now had a guide, that I now had a safe guide to take me through these practices, because honestly, I didn't really know what to do with it, which is probably why I got stuffed in a sock drawer at some point.
Yep.
And yeah. So the different yoni egg practices were just so gentle and lovely and opened me up, like my first and second chakras, if we want to talk about energy again and those blockages, to be able to reach parts of my internal world on an energetic level that I probably wouldn't have been able to attain without using the yoni egg. As a way of self-empowerment, like, oh, I have this cool tool that I don't need anybody else to pleasure myself with, but it can turn into this playful playground of, well, what does it feel like when I do this? Or what does it feel like when I put my body in this position?
Totally.
And really, opening myself up to receive on a deeper level.
And how did you find the yoni egg as different from like other sex toys?
Ooh, well, I've always had a little vibrator, and the yoni egg practices that you guided me through really helped me to slow down and to be more intentional and more aware of where I was placing my attention. Instead of just on the first or second chakras, the yoni egg, alongside in conjunction with the breathing exercises that you taught me, allowed me to go to places through like these energetic orgasms. And I shared this with you too.
Yes, I was going to ask you, and now you're going to talk about it.